Shalom. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shabrakatah. Yahweh Shamar Alatham Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. To all the Aki and Akwathi up there, we're going to go straight into it. This is the Baltimore Sabbath Service. This is October 28th, 2023. Slack your cat. What you want? Making that screen large. I just want to see if we're too wild on that. Too wild, cat. So let's just review really quickly. Last time we're in the book of Kings. Okay, we're in the book of Kings. We're going to start off with 1 Kings 16. We're going to start off with 1 Kings 16, but let's do a review. Can anybody let me know or remember what we talked about last time as far as what was going on with Israel at this time? Does anybody remember what was going on with Israel at this time? Does anybody remember? Okay. All right. So let's just review. You know, at this time, the kingdom of Israel was split into two kingdoms. You had the northern kingdom that consisted of like Ephraim, Manasseh, Dan, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Issachar, Zebulun, going down the line. I probably missed some here and there, but Simeon, Reuben, and then you have the southern kingdom. Okay, does anybody know the tribes in the southern kingdom? The southern kingdom consisted of Judah, Benjamin, and pretty much Levi. So the kingdom split because Solomon started having wives of foreign nations, and according to Deuteronomy 7, you are not supposed to do that. And also Exodus 23, I think also in Exodus 34. You can look all through the line of you're not supposed to have women of other nations. But for the sake of David, Mosiah said that he would not take the kingdom completely away, but the kingdom would be torn from Solomon's son, Rehoboam. So the southern kingdom was given to Rehoboam. Does anybody know who the northern kingdom was given to? Anybody remember the king's name? Okay, it was Jeroboam or Jeroboam. Okay, and he was now the king of Israel, and then the southern, and then Rehoboam, that was Solomon's son. He was the king of Judah. Okay, and so now Israel is split into two kingdoms. We know during the prophecy. I think this is in Ezekiel 37. The Most High says that he's going to take the two kingdoms and make them one kingdom again. Take the two trees, make them the one tree. And this is also what Paul was talking about the wild olive tree and the natural olive tree, putting them one again into one. All right. Also, we notice that mostly all the kings of Israel so far, how have their behavior been? Anybody want to tell me? The king of Israel, how have their behaviors been? They've been doing what? Anybody remember? All right, their attitude is they've been going into the sins of Jeroboam. Remember, Jeroboam got Israel, the northern kingdom, to go into a lot of idolatry, going after other gods. Right. Okay, and that's been consistent with the northern kingdom as we've been reading. The southern kingdom is a hit or miss. You got some righteous kings and some kings that are not righteous. But all the kings of Israel, the northern tribe, have followed in the footsteps of Jeroboam. Now, can somebody tell me who was the standard king of righteousness that the Most High always compared the righteous kings to? Anybody know? What king set the standard? Go ahead. David was the standard for the kings of righteousness. So if a righteous king came along, the Most High would say he walked in the ways of David, his father. If it was an unrighteous king, he would be walking in the ways of Jeroboam. Jeroboam set the wrong standard of what not to do. Okay, but he was always compared because he's the one that got Israel to do idolatry. So we're going to go ahead and go into it. Today, we're going to continue in 1 Kings 16. Now we're going to read about more kings. Please feel free to ask some questions. Let's hear my face. All right. 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 16 through 22. I'm going to read that in the Hebrew first, then in the English. 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 16 in the Hebrew. Vayishmai Ha'ain, Hachanyum, La'amar, Quashar, Samaria, Wagum, Hacha, Af, Hamalak, Waya Malakwa, Kal, Yasha'ala, Af, Imaria, Shar, Tazabah, Al, Yasha'ala, Bayawam, Hawa'ah, Hawa'ah, Bamachana, verse 17. We'll read all the way through 22. Verse 17. Waya Allah, Imaria, Wakal, Yasha'ala, Ainwa, Magabathwan, Waya Tazarwa, Al, the Ratazahat. Verse 18. Wayahaya, Kara Awath, Zamaria, Kaya, Nala Kada, Ha'ayar, Wayaba'a, Al, Imara, Irumwan, Bayath, Hamalak, Wayasharat, Alyawa, Af, Bayath, Malak, Ba'ash, Wayamath. Verse 19, Al, Kata'athwa, Ashar, Kata'a, La'aishawath, Hara'ai, Ba'ayanya, Yahawa, Lalakath, Badarak, Yaraba'aim, Wabakhata'athwa, Ashar, Aisha, Lahakhata'ya'a, Yasha'ala. Verse 20. Wayathar, Dabaria, Zamaria, Wakwasharwa, Ashar, Quashar, Hala'ah, Hum, Kathawabyum, Al, Sapar, Dabaria, Hayumyum, Lamalakya, Yasha'ala, verse 21. Azah, Yachalak, Ha'ain, Yasha'ala, Lakatazaya, Katazaya, Ha'ain, Haya, Acharia, Thabunya, Bun, Gayanath, Laha Malayakwa, Waha Katazaya, Acharia, Imaria, verse 22, Waya Chazak, Ha'ain, Ashar, Acharia, Imaria, Af, Ha'ain, Ashar, Acharia, Thabunya, Bun, Gayanath, Waya Math, Thabunya, Waya Malak, Imaria, and that's it. All right, now we're going to be reading in the English. 1 Kings chapter 16 through 22.
1 Kings chapter 16, verse 16. And the people that were camped heard say, Zimri hath conspired, and hath also slain the king. Wherefore all Israel made Omri, the captain of the host, king over Israel that day in the camp. Verse 17. And Omri went up from Gibbethon, and all Israel with him, and they besieged Tirzah. Verse 18. And it came to pass, when Zimri saw that the city was taken, that he went into the palace of the king's house, and burnt the king's house over him with fire, and died. Verse 19. For his sins which he sinned is doing evil in the sight of the Lord, in walking in the ways of Jeroboam.
Something different, slightly, sir. So you notice how they always compare the sins of the kings of Israel to Jeroboam, because all these kings of Israel, Israel to walk after other gods and idolatry. Go ahead.
And in his sin which he did to make Israel to sin. Verse 20. Now the rest of the acts of Zimri and his treason that he wrought, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? Verse 21. Then were the people of Israel divided into two parts. Half of the people followed Tibni, the son of Ginath, to make him king, and half followed Omri.
Now, if you notice, this time period can be also compared to the time of the judges. See, Israel this time, when you don't have a righteous king, what do people usually do? Does anybody know? when you don't really have a righteous leader, what usually happens with the people? Well, go ahead. Well, you're right. They could rebel. Everybody pretty much does what's right in their own eyes. And this is the same thing that was happening in the time of Judges. So when you have an unrighteous king that stands up, there's a lot of rebellion because then everybody has opinions. And then people just do what they think is right. And this is like the time of the Judges. Because in the time of the Judges, you would always have a righteous judge that would come up. He would save Israel, get Israel to turn back to the Most High, deliver them from one of the heathen nations. And then after that righteous leader died, Israel go back to doing what they wanted to do. Because there wasn't a righteous leader there. So everybody did what was right in their own eyes. So this is kind of like the same pattern. Go ahead, Slacker, sir.
Verse 22. But the people that followed Omri prevailed against the people that followed Tibni, the son of Ginath. So Tibni died, and Omri reigned. Okay.
And of course, this is talking about the kings of Israel. And you notice in Kings, it's going to talk about kings of both kingdoms. So you'll hear them talk about the kings of Israel and the kings of Judah. We'll talk about what was going on in both houses at that time. All right. Let's go ahead and read 1 Kings 16, 23 through 29. 1 Kings chapter 16, 23 in the Hebrew. Bashanath, Shalashim, Wa'afkar, Shana, La'asa'a, Malak, Yahawada, Malak, Imaria, Al, Yasha'ala, Shaphiam, Aishara, Shana, Bathar Ratazaha, Malak, Shasha, Shasha, Shanyam, verse 24. Waya Kwan, Af, Hahar, Shamarwan, Ma'af, Shamar, Bakar Yum, Kasat, Waya Bun, Af, Hahar, Waya Korah, Ah, Sham, Ha'ayar, Ashar, Mana, Al, Sham, Shamar, Adunya, Hahar, Shamarwan. Verse 25. Waya Aisha, Amaria, Harai, Ba'ayanya, Yahawa, Wayarai, Makal, Ashar, Lapunyawa. Verse 26. Waya Lak, Bakal, Darak, Waya Ba'ain, Bun, Nabat, Waba Kata Afyum. It's like it. Waba Kata Afyawa. Ashar, Hakat Ya'a, Yasha'ala, Laha Ka'ai Yasa, Yahawa, Aliyah, Yasha'ala, Laha Yalaham. Verse 27, Wayathar, Debaria, Imaria, Ashar, Aisha, Wagabo, Warathya, Ashar, Aisha, Hala'ah, Ham, Katha Wabyam, Al, Sapar, Debaria, Hayamyam, Lamalakia, Yasha'ala, verse 28, Wayashakab, Amaria, Aim, Abath, Abatha Yawab, Wayakorab, Bashamarwan, Wayamalak, Aka Ab, Bunwa, Thakathyawa, verse 29, Wayaka'ab, Bun, Amaria, Malak, Al, Yasha'ala, Bashanath, Shalashim, Washa Mana, Shana, Sa'a, Malak, Yahawada, Waya Malak, Aka'ab, Bun, Imaria, Al, Yasha'ala, Bashamarwan, Aisharium, Washafyum, Shana, and that's it. All right, we're going to be reading 1 Kings 16, 23 through 29.
1 Kings chapter 16, verse 23. In the 31st year, Asa king of Judah began Omri to reign over Israel. 12 years, 6 years reigned he in Tirzah. Verse 24. And he bought the hill Samaria, Samaria of Shimmer for 2 talents of silver, and built on the hill, and called the name of the city which he built after the name of Shimmer, owner of the hill, Samaria. But Omri, verse 25, but Omri wrought evil in the eyes of the Lord, and did worse than all that were before him. Verse 26, for he walked in all the way of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and in his sin, wherewith he made Israel to sin, to provoke the Lord God of Israel to anger with their vanities. Verse 27. Now the rest of the acts of Omri, which he did, and his might that he shewed, are they not written in the books of the chronicles of the kings of Israel? Verse 28. So Omri slept with his fathers and was buried in Samaria, and Ahab his son reigned in his stead. Verse 29. And in the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab the son of Omri to reign over Israel. And Ahab the son of Omri reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years.
Right. And let's now. Here's what happened with the. So when Israel was one nation, the kings of Israel, where did they reign at? Anybody want to tell me where the kings of Israel? What was the capital of Israel? Everybody. So like I said, Jerusalem. All right, and that's where the Most High told Israel that they would have to come worship Him. How many times a year? Anybody know?
3.
3 times a year. They were supposed to come and worship before the Most High. Now, when the kingdom divided, the southern kingdom had Jerusalem still as the place where they were where you were to come worship. But the northern kingdom, they had their own place where they would tell people to come worship, and that was Samaria. So people were coming up to Samaria to worship, which was not the place where the Most High said to come worship. Okay, and that's where so that was pretty much it was a form of disrespect because now the northern kings had people coming up to Samaria to come worship the Most High, or just to come worship, and that's not when the Most High said to come worship. Of course, it was always Jerusalem. It's always been the place. All right. All right, let's continue. We're now in 1 Kings chapter 16. We're going to be reading 30 through 34, and then we're going to jump over to chapter 17, 1 through 2. Okay, 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 30. Waya Aisha, Achaab, Ban, Imariam, Harai, Ba'ayanya, Yahweh, Makal, Ashar, Lapanyawa. Verse 31. Wayahaya, Hanakwal, Lakathwa, Bachat Wath, Yaraba'aim, Bun, Nabat, Wayakwak, Ashab, Shalom, Zabal, Bath, Baal, Malak, Dunyam, Wayalak, Ibad, Haba'al, Wayashafakwa, Lawa, verse 32. Wayaquam, Mazabak, Laba'al, Shalom, Laba'al, Bayath, Haba'al, Ashar, Bana, Bashamarwan, verse 33. Waya Aisha, Achaab, Ath, Ha'asharab, Waya Wasat, Achaab, La Aishawath, Laha Ka'ay Yasab, Af, Yahweh, Aliyah, Yasha'ala, Makal, Malachya, Yasha'ala, Ashar, Hayawa, Lapanyawa, verse 34. Bayam Yawa, Bana, Kaya Al, Kaya Allah, Salakia, Bayath, Ha'aliyah, Af, Yarayak, Ha, Abay Yaram, Wakarwa, Yasada, Wabashagayab, Tazaayarwa, Hatazayab, Dalafaya, Hakadabar, Yahawa Ashar Dabar, Bayad, Yahawashai, Yahawashai, it's like Yahawashai, Bun, Nawan. Over in 1 Kings now, or in 1 Kings chapter 17, verses 1 through 2. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 1. Waya Amar, Alaya Hawa, Alaya Hawa, Hafa Shabya, Matha Shabya, Gala'aid, Al, Acha'ab, Chaya, Yahawa, Alahaya, Yasha'ala, Ashar, Imadathia, Lapanyawa, Yahaya, Hashanyam, Ha'ala, Tal, Wamatar, Kaya, Lapaya, Dabaria, verse 2. Yahaya, Dabar, Yahawa, Alayawa, Amar. And that's it. Sorry. Oh, we can start eating. All right, if y'all want to go ahead and get a plate or something like that, y'all go ahead and can. All right, we're going to go ahead and read verses, 1 Kings chapter 16, 30 through 34, and then we'll jump to chapter 17, 1 through 2.
1 Kings chapter 16, verse 30. And Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of the Lord above all that were before him. Verse 31. And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, that he took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Zidonians, and went and served Baal and worshipped him. Verse 32. And he reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. Verse 33. And Ahab made a grove, and Ahab did more to provoke the Lord God of Israel to anger than all the kings of Israel that were before him.
So not only did Ahab take a heathen wife, but he also he's building an altar here for a false a heathen god right in Samaria, and the people would go and make sacrifices to these heathen gods. And you're going to see what his wife, how much of a heathen his wife was, how she actually would kill the prophets of Israel. She actually banished them. Okay, this is how wicked his wife was. See, these are the things. This is why the Most High told the men of Israel that they should not go into women of other nations, because they always get the men of Israel to sin. They always get the men of Israel to change and to compromise and to go after another god. Okay, and of course Jezebel and Ahab are no different. And Ahab was a king; he was also a king of Israel. Still, all right. So,
verse 34. And in his days did Hiel the Bethelite build Jericho. He laid the foundation thereof in Abraham, his firstborn, and set up the gates thereof in his youngest son Segub, according to the word of the Lord which he spake by Joshua the son of Nun. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 1. And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, as the Lord God of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word.
Okay, so now we enter Elijah We know that Elijah was a mighty prophet of Israel. So now we enter into his story. We're going to see how he deals with the pretty much how he stands with the people, how he stands against the leadership of Israel. A lot of times the prophets were troublemakers to the leaderships of Israel because the leadership of Israel was a lot of times going astray. A lot of times these prophets, you got to think about Jeremiah, think about Elijah. A lot of time, think about a lot of the prophets which had to stand against. Think about Ezekiel when the leadership was going awry. You know, these prophets had to stand against the leader. It takes a lot of guts too. I mean, you're standing against a king. You're going against the king. So it shows that though they had a lot of courage. It shows that they had a lot of, they weren't a coward because they had to go against the leadership of their day. I mean, think about Yahweh Shah, him going against John the Baptist. So a lot of times, if you look at these biblical stories, a lot of the prophets had to go against the leaderships of their day. Go ahead, Salakia.
Verse 2, and the word of the Lord came unto him, saying.
Right, excellent. I'll call somebody up, sir. All right, just people up here, Imadium. Yahasha, present thyself in thy registry. Shalom.
Ya'asha, Bangad Ban Yashala.
Yahasha, Bangad Ban Yashala.
Yabash Yashabaktam.
Yahweh Bashim Yashabakta. You shot me. All right, now we're going to go ahead and read 1 Kings chapter 17, and then we're going to read 3 through 9 in the Hebrew. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 3. Lak, Mazah, Wapanyath, Laka, Quadama, Wanasatharak, with no slack, Wanasatharatha, Wanakal, Korayath, Ashar, Panya, Hayaradan, Salakia. Verse 4, Wayahaya, Waha Nakal, Thashatha, Wa'ath, Ha'irabium, Tazawayathya, Lakalkoka, Sham, verse 5. Verse 5, Wayala, Waya Aisha, Kadabar, Yahweh, Wayala, Wayashab, Banakal, Koriyath, Ashar, Al, Panya, Hayaradan, verse 6, Waha-I-Rabiam, Maba-Ya'ayam, Lawa, Lakam, Wabashar, Babakwar, Walakam, Wabashar, Wa'irab, Waman, Hanakal, Yasharatha, verse 7, Wayahaya, Makwataza, Yum, Waya Yabash, Hanakal, Kaya, La'a, Hayab, Gasham, Ba'arataza, verse 8, Wayahaya, Dabar, Yahweh, Al-Yawah, La'amar, verse 9, Quawam, Lak, Tazara, Patha, Shalom, sir, Ashar, La Tazaya, the one, Waya Shabbat, Sham, Hana, Tazawayathya, Sham, Ashab, Alamana, Lakal Kaka. And that's it. All right, we're going to be reading. We're going to be reading 1 Kings chapter 17, 3 through 9.
Gotcha.
1 Kings chapter 17, verses 3 through 9.
Stop. Wait. Stop.
First Kings.
This is the wrong verses.
Chapter 17.
Oh, Salakia. Oh, Salakia.
First Kings chapter 17, verses 3 through 9.
First Kings chapter 17, verse 3. Get thee hence and turn thee eastward and hide thyself by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. Verse 4. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. Verse 5. So he went and did according unto the word of the Lord, for he went and dealt by the brook Cherith that is before Jordan. Verse 6. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank the brook. Verse 7. And it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. Verse 8. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, verse 9, Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow, a woman there, to sustain thee.
Now notice this. Now notice that the Most High is sustaining Elijah. Remember what Yahushua said when they would be sent out, don't worry what you're going to eat, or don't worry about, because the Most High would provide. And so you're seeing that Elijah is being sent out, and he's got a mission, and the Most High is taking care of him. He's the ravens fed him, and then now he's being taken care of by a widow. Well, he's going to a widow. We're going to see how that widow interacts with him. And this just it's kind of like, like I said, the comparison of Yahushua sending his messengers out. When Yahushua sent the apostles out, and he sent these students out, he said, don't worry about it. You go into the town, okay? And so this is just, it's a lesson. All right? Excellent. We're now going to be reading 1 Kings chapter 17, 10 through 16. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 10. Wayaquam, Wayalak, Tazarapatha, Wayaba'a, all, Pathak, Hai Ayar, Wahana, Sham, Asha, Allah, Mana, Makwashatath. I Tazayam, Wayakwara, Alaya, Waya Amar, Wakwaya, Na'a, Laya, Ma'aim, Ainta, Mayam, Bakalya, Shafta, verse 11. Wathalak, Lakwa Kaf, Waya Kwara, Alya, Waya Amar, Lakwa Kaya, Na'a, Laya, Patha, Lakam, Bayadak, Slakia, Bayadka. Verse 12. Watha Amar, Chaya, Yahweh, Alahayaka, Yesha, Laya, Ma'ai, Wa, Kaya, Mala'a, Ka, or Kapa, Kwamak, Wakad, Wama, Ainta, Wamaita, Salaki, Shaman, Bataza Pathak, Bataza Pakaf, Salaki, Wahananya, Mama Makwa Shashaf, Shanyam, Aitazayam, Waba Afya, Wa Aishayaf Yahawa, Laya, Waba Banya, Wa Akal Naha, Wa Mafnawa. Verse 13, Wa Yamar, Alya, Alya, Allah Yahawa, Alahayawa. So like Allah Yahweh, so like it. All Fayara Ayah, Ayah, Aishayah, Kada Barak, Ak, Aishaya, Laya, Masham, Igaha, Quatana, Baraashna, Wahawa Taza Af, Laya, Walak, Wala Banak, Aishaya, Korana. Verse 14. Kaya, Kaha, Amar, Yahweh, Alahaya, Yasha'ala, Kada, Hakwa, Mak, La'a, Fakala, Wataza, Hakaf, Hashaman, La'a, Fakasar, I, Yawam, Fathan, Yahweh, Gasham, Wanya, Dama. Verse 15. With a lot, with a Aisha, Kadabar, Alahayawa, Alayahawa, Salaki, with a call, Hawa'a, Wahaya'a, Waba Yatam, Yum Yum, verse 16. Kada, Hakwa Mak, La'a, Kalatha, Wataza Pakaf, Hashaman, La'a, Khasar, Kadabar, Yahweh, Ashar, Dabar, Bayad, Allah Yahweh. And that's it. All right, we're going to be reading 1 Kings chapter 17, 10 through 16 in the English.
1 Kings chapter 17, verse 10. So he arose and went to Zarephath. And when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her and said, Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water and a vessel that I may drink. Verse 11. And as she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, Bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thy hand. Verse 12. And she said, As the Lord thy God liveth, I have not a cake, but an handful of meal and a barrel and a little oil and a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die. Verse 13. And Elijah said unto her, Fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after for thee and for thy son. Verse 14.
Stop right there. Does anybody know why Elijah said, make some for me first? I mean, because somebody reading that would be like, hey, it's kind of rough. I mean, this lady's like pretty much on her last, why would Elijah say that? Why would Elijah do that? Does anybody know or have an idea? Go ahead, Khan. Go ahead, sir.
To show the power of the Most High.
Khan, okay, Khan. Anybody else?
Oh,
Go ahead, Khan, sir.
and to see her faith.
Khan.
For her to show her faith.
Khan. Well, I mean, and if you want to think about this too, we actually do this here and we'll feed the generals first. The generals get, and there's actually a biblical principle. When Israel was to take their tithes or to take their offerings, they were supposed to bring it to the Lord first. Now, now we know the Most High is not coming out the sky, but really, who was eating of that first? It was the priests. You were to take care of the priests, the Levites first, because their inheritance was of the Most High. They didn't have, lands and stuff like that. Their work was of the Most High. So you were to take care of them first. And that was pretty much like giving to the Most High when you gave to like the priests or the prophets or the Levites. You were to, anything that you had, your tithes and stuff were to be given to them. It was brought to them, and they were to be taken care of first. So Elijah is actually following the precept. Give some to me first, and that's when you did that. That's how the Israelites were blessed. Not only that, but they were to take care of the poor, the widow, but they were also to take care of those priests and stuff who were doing the work of the Most High. Because if not, then I think Joe Muhammad made a joke one time. Then you got the priests of the Lord being Uber drivers and stuff like that because Israel's not doing their part to take care of that's what their part was to do, was to give stuff of the tenth or a tithe or an offering to the priests, Levites, and the teachers of Israel first. Okay,
So it's also being in order too.
It's like being in order too. And actually, that's where I'm sidetracking a little bit, if I may, sir. But that's where giving the teacher of the app, your teacher in Apple actually comes from, because back then, the townspeople would take care of the teachers by giving them a tithe of whatever the fruits and stuff they had. So they'd say, hey, we got something to give that to your teacher next door, the apple or the banana, because you were to make sure they were fed, because the teachers were teaching your children. That was their job. So you wanted to make sure they were being fed as well. I think did we finish through or not? Oh, go ahead, Yasha.
First Kings chapter 17, verse 14. For thus said the Lord God of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth. Verse 15. And she went and did according to the saying of Elijah, and she and he and her house did eat many days.
Notice her attitude. Now, slack, sir, if I may, because she didn't have the Christian spirit on her. Because does anybody know what the Christian spirit woman, if a woman had the Christian spirit on her, what would she have said? I grew up in the Christian church. So I know exactly what she would have said. Anybody else? Go ahead, sir. I know exactly what she would have said. The Christian spirit.
Kids got to eat first.
Not only that. So no, I agree with you, sir. The Christian spirit be like, well, I'm not following no man.
Right. Oh,
God is my head. That's the critic. God is my head. I don't have to listen to no man. I got direct access to God, and God says to feed myself and my child first. That's what she didn't have that Christian attitude. You know what I'm saying? I'm not following no man. Okay, God is my king, and I'm gonna follow what God says, and I gotta feed my family. If I got something left, maybe. That's concept.
Or they always say, "Well, I feel as though."
Well, I think so. But she didn't. She actually followed the order of what this man of the Most High said. She followed that order, and she was blessed many days. Blessed many days. So like I said, her attitude was different. So go ahead, guys.
Verse 16. And the barrel of the meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of the oil fail, according to the word of the Lord, which he had spoken. Which he had speak by Elijah.
Excellent. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and we've got two more to read. Let's read 1 Kings. We're reading chapter 17 through 23 in the Hebrew. 1 Kings chapter 17 in the verse 17 in the Hebrew. Wayahaya achar hadabaryam ha'alah ha'kala bud ha'asha Ba'ilaf, Habayath, Wayahaya, Kala Yawa, Chazak, Ma'ad, Aid, Ashar, La'a, Nawa, Farah, Bawa, Nashama, verse 18, with Amar, Allah Yahweh, Maha, Laya, Wala, Ayash, Alahayim, Ba'af alaya laha zakayar af iwanya wala hamayaf af bunya. Verse 19. Waya amar alahaya thunya laya af banak waya kwakahawa makai yakwa waya alahwa all ha'ilaya Ashar, Hawa'a, Ya Shab, Sham, Waya Shakab, Hawa, Al, Matafwa, verse 20, Waya Korah, Al, Yahweh, Wayamar, Yahweh, Alahaya, Hagam, Al, Ha'ala, Mana, Ashar, Anya, Matha, Goarar, Imam Haraiwath Laha Mayath Af Bana, verse 21. Waya Madad Al Hayalad Shalash Ha'ayim Waya Korah Al Yahweh Waya Amar Yahweh Alahaya. So the Shab Na'ah Napash Hayalad Hazah Al Korabwa, verse 22. Waya Shemai Yahweh Bakwawal Alahayawa with a Shab Napash Hayalad Al Korabwa Waya Kaya, verse 23. Waya Kwak Alahayawa 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 Salaki. Hayalad Waya Rado Hawa Man Alaya Haba Yafta Waya Thanawa La Waya Amar Alahayawa Ra'aya Haya Banak. That's it. All right, now we're going to be reading 1 Kings chapter 17, 17 through 23.
1 Kings chapter 17, verse 17. And it came to pass after these things that the son of the woman, the mistress of the house, fell sick, and his sickness was so sore that there was no breath left in him. Verse 18. And she said unto Elijah, What have I to do with thee, O thou man of God? Art thou come unto me to call my sin to remembrance, and to slay my son? Verse 19. And he said unto her, Give me thy son. And he took him out of her bosom, and carried him unto the loft where he abides, and laid him upon his own bed. Verse 20. And he cried unto the Lord, and said, O Lord, my God, hast thou also brought evil upon the widow with whom I sojourned, by slaying her son? Verse 21. And he stretched himself upon the children 3 times, and cried unto the Lord, and said, O Lord my God, I pray thee, let this child's soul come unto him again. Verse 22. And the Lord heard the voice of Elijah, and the soul of the child came unto him again, and he revived.
Okay, so you see that because the woman obeyed, and a lot of this goes back to obedience. A lot of this goes back to obedience because the woman was obedient and Elijah was a righteous man. The Lord heard their prayers because everybody was in order. Okay, and that could be a lesson behind it. Everybody was in order. Go ahead.
Verse 23. And Elijah took the child and brought him down out of the chamber into the house, and delivered him unto his mother. And Elijah said, See, thy son liveth.
All right. And now we're going to go ahead and read 1 Kings 17 through 24. 17:24, and then we're going to jump over to 1 Kings 18, 1 through 6. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 24. With a Amar, Ha'ashab, Al, Alahayawa, Salaka, Alayahawa, Salaka, Atha, Zaha, Yada Aithya, Kaya, Ayash, Alahayim, Atha, Wadabar, Yahweh, Bapayaka, Amath. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 1. Wayahaya, Yum, Rabiam, Wayadabar, Yahweh, Haya, Al, Ala Yahweh, Bashana, Hashala Yashyath, Amar, Lak, Hara'aha, Al, Aka'ab, Wa'afana, Matar, Al, Panya, Ha'adama, verse 2. Wayalak ala Yahweh, Lahara Awaf, Al, Akaab, Waharaib, Chazak, Bashar Marwan, verse 3, Wayakorah, Akaab, Al, Abad Yahweh, Ashar, Al, Habayath, Wa'ibad Yahweh, Hayah, Yara'ah, Af, Yahweh, Ma'ad, verse 4, Wayahaya, Baha Karayath, Zabal, Af, Naba Ya'aya, Yahweh, Wayakwak, Ibad Yahweh, Ma'aha, Naba Ayam, Waya Kabaya'am, Kama Shayam, Ayash, Bama Iram, Wakalkoyam, Lacham, Wa Mayam, verse 5, Wayamar, Akaab, Al, Ibad Yahweh, Lak, Ba'aratasa, Al, Call, Ayanya, Hamayam, were all called Hana Kolyam, Awayalia, Namatazo, Katazayar, Wana Kayam, Sawas, Parad, Wa'a, Nakaryath, Waha Bahama. Verse 6, Waya Kalakwa, Laham, Arakaza, Ibar, Baha, Akaab, Halak, Badarak, Achad, Labadwa, Ibad Yahweh, Halak, Badarak, Achad, Labadwa, and that's it. All right, now we're going to be reading 1 Kings chapter 17, 24, and then we're going to jump over to chapter 18, 1 through 6.
1 Kings chapter 17, verse 24. And the woman said to Elijah, now by this I know that thou art a man of God, and that the word of the Lord in thy mouth is true. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 1. And it came to pass after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, go sue thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. Verse 2. And Elijah went to sue himself unto Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria. Verse 3. And Ahab called Obadiah, which was the governor of his house. Now Obadiah feared the Lord greatly. Verse 4. For it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of the Lord, that Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them by the 50 in the cave, and fed them with bread and water.
So you see the wickedness of Jezebel, how she pretty much was killing the prophets of the Most High. She was just killing them. And that, and now, can somebody tell me, why would she kill the prophets of the Most High? There could be plenty of answers. I'm not saying it's a one answer thing, but anybody knows some reasons of why she would kill them? What was it about the prophets of the Most High that people hated? What was the? Come on, go ahead, Matham. Okay, what do you mean? Not this up. Well, they would make sacrifice. Well, they would sacrifice for Israel. Okay, Matham.
Truth.
Right. A lot of people hate the prophets of the Most High. Go ahead.
You teach the truth. You take money out of the pockets of the false prophets.
Con. You take money out of the pockets. Go ahead, Yash.
It was really, really strict. I guess that.
Con. I mean, the prophets are going to bring order. I mean, the prophet's job is to turn the people back to the Most High. So the people hate the prophets because what do people mostly want to do? What do people always want to do?
Do what they want.
Yeah, they wanted to do what was right in their own eyes. So a lot of times people hated the prophets of the Most High because their job was to turn Israel back to the Most High. That was their job. So people hated them. And a lot of times the leadership hated them because they would have to tell the leadership where they're erred. You know, a leader don't want to hear that. A leader don't want to hear that they're wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? That, because people want to stay in power, and so so you don't want to hear. That's why they threw John the Baptist in jail. They threw him in jail because he was telling somebody he had another man's wife. Or I think I said it right. But the leadership don't want to hear that, and so the leadership of Israel at that time was crooked. Jezebel had the worshiping of the gods. And so the one thing they had to do was get rid of the prophets that's going to tell them that's going to cut them. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to be cut. Go ahead, Yasha.
Because they didn't have discipline for when they were wrong.
Right. They ain't going to have discipline. That leadership is not going to get the people in order. And usually when they got rid of the prophets, what did they usually do? Think about the Christian church. What did they usually do? When they got rid of the prophets, who would they replace them with? They were replacing with their false prophets. Because the false prophets are going to say what they want to hear. That was usually, so they replace them with their yes men, their false prophets, and so that's who they had that surrounded them. That's why they had to get rid of the prophets of the Most High. Go ahead, Yasha, verse 5.
Gotcha. Verse 5, Slakia. 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 5. And Habab said unto Obadiah, go into the land unto all fountains of water and unto all brooks. Peradventure we may find grass to save the horses and mules alive, that we lose not all the beasts. Verse 6. So they divided the land between them to pass throughout it. Habab went one way by himself, and Obadiah went another way by himself.
All right. Any questions? Any questions about what we were reading or anything? All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Oh, no, I was just saying, was there any questions? All right. All right. With that, I invited just the people here.
La Yashala.
Majum,
For everybody.
Wapanya, Aquadum. Rise of his east.
Turn this way. Ready, one. We're going to read the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, and then in the English. The Lord's Prayer. Abanaba, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemkah, Yahweh, Balakwaska, Kava'ah, Ritazayaka, Hayah, Ashah, Aratza, Sawah, Hayah, Shemayim, the thunder now, come, call, Yawam, Wasalak now, Kavawak now, Kasalak now, Kavawak now, Walla'ah, Kavya'ai now, and the Sayawan, a ball, a Rashai now, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Kamalakwa, Waha'ala, Waha'ala, Ra, the I woman, Amon.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be.
This is Hakat, the power. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushua. Baruch Hushah. The thunder now. Hakat. Ramaka Allah. Wakol Marwa. Hakat. Tahar. Hamatazarayim. Hakat. Bahakriya. Hamathia. Hakat. Arakawa. Fatima Allah. The Rishon. Bahashim Yahushua. The water among.
In the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
This is the blessed Israel. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushua. Barak Lanau. Wayasha'Allah. Wahabayah. Sapari. Barak. Rakab. Magun. Bahashim Yahushua.
In the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua. Bless us. And Israel. And the school. Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be.
This is the blessings of the power structure. Barakatha Yahweh. Yahushua. Wama Yaka'Allah. Wa Allahayim. Matazab Ya'ah. Alawak Yahanam. Ha Alawakim. Hasaranyam. Hakwataza Yanyam. Hakayayoyam. Wa Ha'akwakim. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushua.
In the English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahushua. And Mike. And the angel. Commanding General Yohana. General. Captain. Officer. Trooper. And the sister. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be.
This is Psalms 121. Aisha Ayanya, Ahahariam, Ayan, Yaba'ah, Isariah, Ma'ai, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Arataza, Ayathan, Lamawat, Rugalka, Alyanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Walala, Yashun, Shamamar, Yasha'al, Yahweh. Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Aliyah, Yamyaka, Yawamah, Hashamash, La'ab, Yakaka, Wayarab, Waliyalab, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makolra, Yashamar, Abnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Wabulaka, Mayathan, Wa'ai, Awalam, Aman.
And in the English, I will lift up my eyes into the hill. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and forevermore. So be it.
This is Psalms 83. Alahayim,
Alahayim.
Al-Dabayalaka,
Al-Dabayalaka.
Al-Fakarash,
Al-Fakarash.
Al-Fashakwat,
Al-Tashaqwa.
Al-Kayahana,
Kayahana.
Awiyamyaka,
Al-Yabika.
Yahamayawan,
Yahamaywan.
Womashanayaka,
Al-Shishayaka.
Nashawa,
Nashawa.
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash.
Al-Anika,
Al-Anika.
Ya'arayawa,
Ya'arayawa.
Sawa,
Sawa.
Wayathaya'i, Tazawa,
Al-Tashaqwa.
Adazapawanyaka,
Al-Tashaqwa.
Amorwa,
Amorwa.
Lakawa,
Lakawa.
Wanakakim,
Wanakakim.
Magalia,
Magalia.
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah.
Yissachar,
Yissachar.
Sham Yasha'al,
Sham Yasha'al.
Iwad,
Iwad.
Kaya,
Kaya.
Nawa'ai Tazawa,
La'ai Tashaqwa.
Lab,
Lab.
Yachadwa,
Yachadwa.
Yakab,
Yakab.
Baryath,
Baryath.
Yakarakwa,
Yakarakwa.
Ahoya,
Ahoya.
Alawam,
Alawam.
Wamashemai Aliyam, Wahaba, Wahagari,
Wahagari.
the ball,
Ball.
Wa'amawan,
Wa'amawan.
Wa'amalak,
Wa'amalak.
Halashah,
Halashah.
and Yeshabya,
And Yeshabya.
Tazawar,
Tazawar.
Gum Ashawar,
Gam Ashawar.
Nalawa,
Nalawa.
Imam,
Imam.
Hayawa,
Hayawa.
Zarawat,
Zarawat.
Labanyalawat,
Banyalawat.
Salah,
Salah.
Aishalaham,
Aishalaham.
Kamanyan,
Kamanyan.
Kasayasara'ah,
Yasara'ah.
Kayabin,
Kayabin.
Benakol,
Benakol.
Koyashwan,
Koyashwan.
Nishamatwan,
Nishamatwan.
Ma'ayanda Arab, Hayawa,
Hayawa.
Daman,
Daman.
La'adama,
La'adama.
Shayadamwa,
Shayadamwa.
Nadayabawa,
Nadayabawa.
Ka'irab,
Ka'irab.
because of Abba,
Because of Abba.
because of Bak,
Because of Bak.
because of Zolmanah, because of Sayakamwa,
Kama.
Ashar,
Ashar.
Amarwa,
Amarwa.
Nerusha,
Nerusha.
Lanawa,
Lanawa.
Af,
Af.
Na'awaf,
Na'awaf.
Alahayim,
Alahayim.
Alahaya,
Alahayim.
Shayathamwa,
Shayathamwa.
Kagogla,
Kagogla.
Kakwash,
Kakwash.
Lapanya Rakab,
Lapanya Rakab.
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash.
La'ariya Iris,
La'ariya Iris.
Kalahabo,
Kalahabo.
Kalahat,
Kalahat.
Harium,
Harium.
Khan,
Khan.
Radatma,
Radatma.
Masa Irika,
Irika.
what was it? Sorry, what was a Pascha?
What's a Pascha?
Double
Double Aham.
Mala'ah,
Mala'ah.
Panyaham,
Panyaham.
Kuala
Kuala One.
Wayabakwashwa,
Wayabakwashwa.
Shamkab,
Shamkab.
Yahawa,
Yahweh.
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa.
Wayabahowa,
Wayabahowa.
Ayai,
Ayai.
Wayakaparwa,
Wayakaparwa.
Wayabadwa,
Wayabadwa.
Wayadaiwa,
Wayadaiwa.
Kaya,
Kaya.
Atha,
Atha.
Shamkab,
Shamkab.
Yahawa,
Yahweh.
Labaka,
Labaka.
Ayawan,
Ayawan.
Akal,
Akal.
Paratazar,
Paratazar.
Amah.
And in English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
Be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo, thy enemies.
For lo, thy enemies.
Make a tumult.
Make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
They that hate thee.
Have lifted up their head.
Lifted up their head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel
Against thy people.
against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden
And
ones.
consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said.
They have said,
Come.
Come.
And let us cut them off.
Let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
The name of Israel.
May be no more remembered.
May be no more remembered.
But they have consulted together.
They have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarene.
The Hagarene.
The Baal.
The Baal.
And Ammon.
Ammon.
And Amalek.
Amalek.
The Philistines.
Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
The inhabitants of Tyre.
And Ashur is also joined with them.
Ashes also joined with them.
They have opened the children of Lot.
They hold the children of
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kasam.
The brook of Kasam.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red.
Make their nobles like a red.
And like Zeb.
Like Zeb.
Yea.
Yea.
All their princes as Zabah.
All their princes as Zabah.
And as Amunah.
And as Amunah.
Who said.
Who said.
Let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on
So
fire.
persecute them.
So persecute them.
With thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
Make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek
That they see
thy name, O Yahweh.
thy name, O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
In trouble forever.
Trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
Perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou,
That thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh.
whose name is Yahweh,
Art the most power over all the earth.
are the most powerful over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it. These are the curses Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
Punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
Speak against
thy
us.
prophet.
Thy prophet.
The teacher.
The teacher.
The prince. The priest.
The priest.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
Punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure.
And shake loose the
Of
treasure
the rich of Israel.
of the rich of
That
Israel.
refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nation.
The nation.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
Court system.
The prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope.
Pope.
Islam. Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posse Comitatus.
Posse Comitatus.
Gay movement.
Gay movement.
Gay movement.
Gay movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
The LGBT2 movement.
LGBT movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA space program.
Army. Navy. Air Force.
Air Force.
Marine. Wall Street. Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airway.
And the airway.
The cable access channel.
Cable access
And
channel.
the radio channel.
And the radio channel.
Take the spirit.
Take the spirit.
Any of thy people.
Any of thy people.
That seek to stop us.
That seek to stop us.
Bring swift destruction.
Bring swift destruction.
Of all the people.
Of all the people.
So I can to all the heathen.
From all the heathen.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
Try to stop us.
Try to stop us.
Broadcasting your word.
Broadcasting your
Throughout
word.
the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet.
Let loose all the plagues.
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 Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague.
Let the plague.
Take the house of the thief.
Take the house of the thief.
And the murder.
And the murder.
Let Yahweh shine.
Let Yahweh shine.
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying sword.
Come down with the flying sword.
Punish all the heathen.
And punish all the heathen.
Come up against us.
And come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause we know.
Cause to be known.
By all.
By all.
That is the angels.
That is the angels.
That have done it.
That have done it.
Cause to be spread.
Cause to be spread.
Through the media.
Through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake it thy coming.
Cause them to shake it thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
Song which means return. Sisters, Yeshavia. Men of Israel, gird up thy loins and prepare to salute the Torah. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshabrak Yah.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabrak Yah. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shabrak Yah.
Kneel down a little bit so he can reach it out.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak Yah. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak Yah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barak Yah.
Excellent. I think that's this.
Yahweh Shem Yahshabak Yah.
This concludes the service.
Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Imagine. So, turn, please. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua
Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua Barakatham.
Yadi Matah. So, turn, face the sisters. Imagine Shabbat.
No.
One courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak.
Yahweh Shema Alatham Ba'Hashem Yahushua.
Yadi Matah. Class dismissed.
What's going on?